Hi, it's me, Vicky Marie. Sorry, my voice sounds a little bit. I think I might be coming down with a little bit of something. So my voice is a bit dodgy. But anyway, it's good to see you all again. And it feels like it's been weeks since I've been on my regular sort of videos, but it's literally only been a couple of days. And the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to thank everybody who has, gosh, I've had so many messages, so many emails, and I've tried to respond to them, but I just was trying to have like a couple of days because of things. Anyway, it all will be revealed. But what I wanted to say first is thank you for that. Thank you for your concern because of the heat wave in Spain, etc. But I wanted to let you know that I am not in Spain now. I am traveling. I just could not stand it any longer. So I was due to go on location, as you know, the end of the month, and I've just come out a little bit sooner to just get away from that heat wave. I couldn't bear it. So the heat wave Charon, which let's let you know a little bit about it. You probably know because I think it's been all over the news. So yeah, when I left Spain, it was 48 degrees, and I'm now somewhere which is a lot colder with no appropriate clothes because when you're packing in 48 degrees, you can't get your head around the fact that it might be a little bit colder anywhere else. So, yeah. So it's still going. I think it's another week of that heat wave to go. So I'm hoping that I don't have to go back till after it's all over with. But anyway, so just to let you know that. So don't worry about me. I am literally fine. I'm out of it, and I'm glad to be out of it. So yeah. So thank you for the emails, etc. I hope you're all okay. Oh gosh, and then during 2-3 days, all the different news that's come out, and I was thinking, and it's unfortunately as well, I am on my old laptop because I'm traveling. So I bought that new computer. Well, it wasn't new; it was reconditioned, and it's been brilliant. Just brilliant for doing videos, etc. Because it's so quick and this. Now I'm back to this. I need a new laptop desperately because this is it's just unbearable. I've been trying to record this video for an hour already, and I'm only just starting. Just doesn't work properly. It's too old. It's too, what laptops that get loaded up with all your crap, and so yeah. So hope it works this time because I've tried to do it a couple of times. And it just keeps cutting off in between. I'll get fed up in the end. Anyway, so right, where was it? Oh, so I was going with news. There was the Dan Wootton thing. Now, I don't think I'm supposed to mention his name, but I'm, to be honest, I don't give a shit about Dan Wootton. I can't stand him. So he's horrible. He's nasty. He's apparently now deleted everything that he said about Hugh Edwards, who I'm not defending him either because I can't stand him now either. I think they're all the more I see it, makes you wonder what's the depth of this. And also I think there's a little bit of a war going on between the media outlets, isn't there? So it was like, the Murdoch regime coming after the BBC, and now it's like, well, not the BBC, but it's like reporting now against the Murdoch regime because, of course, Dan Wootton is very, included in all that, and these funny sort of and his channel. I've been forced to watch it, so I watched it because of the film. Because he gets right into the gossip, doesn't he? So he was all over the Philip Schofield thing, interviewing people and who were nasty about Philip Schofield. He's really nasty to Meghan Markle. And I'm sorry, I know it upsets people. I've had people who've watched me and they've said they've not liked it when I've said I have nothing against Meghan Markle. if I had to choose one of the princes, I would choose Prince Henry anytime. I can't stand Prince William. Well, I can't stand him. I don't like him. I think if anyone's a devious, one, Kate. And Dan Wootton, of course, has been in all that, and they've not got a good. I mean, listen, you can criticise somebody, but when it's an absolute witch hunt, like it has been over Meghan, no, she won't be a perfect person. Of course, she won't be, but all this vitriol, real nastiness, isn't it? Mainly from men as well. You know, to me, there's a lot of Piers Morgan, Jeremy Clarkson, you know, saying nasty things. It's like racism and misogyny all mixed up together. And then Dan Wootton, because he's so in with William and Kate, all that nastiness. And now we find out, case suppressor. He's a little bit nasty, isn't he? Well, I always knew he was nasty, looks nasty, sounds nasty, and I don't like him. And that's it. So whether all these things turn out to be true or not, which I've got my own idea straight away, is probably true. But I don't care because I don't like him anyway. So even if it turns out, I just don't like him. He's got that gives off that horrible vibe. And he's just so nasty and bitchy and horrible. So I don't like him. I don't know that anything's really going to happen about his accusations because all the newspapers are on his side because he knows too much about like the Murdoch empire, etc. So I think these things, I'll probably get struck off YouTube for it, but you know what, I don't care. I'll just start getting another channel. But these things, they go so high up. I've thought that since, you know, this is going to be like a house of cards because they're all now competing for the viewers and, you know, they're all going downhill really in a way. And the sooner, you know, why has Rupert Murdoch lived as long as he has, you know, because he's ruined Britain. He has ruined the media in Britain. There's nothing there's very few newspapers you will pick up where you'll get an objective view of anything. You'll just get what Rupert Murdoch thinks of everything. And then it's masqueraded under working class philosophy, like, you know, the Daily Mail will say, you know, as if they're on your side. They're not on your side, they're on their own side. Anyway, that's a little bit of a rant of that over. So I can't talk about any details of the rumours surrounding Dan Wootton. You know, I can say there are rumours surrounding him, and they are, but I'm not going into any details. I believe every single one of them, but you know, I can't prove that. So we'll see what happens there with him. I don't think anything will happen. So that's news that's been buzzing around because I was expecting something in the Sunday papers, but no, nothing. Funny that, isn't it? They're all over Hugh Edwards. They're not even mentioning a mystery man in the Sunday papers, you know, a talk show presenter or nothing. So it's all buzzing around on Twitter. You know, people can sort of complain about Twitter, but things circulate on Twitter. And in my experience, the things that I've seen circulate on Twitter before they've been on the mainstream, they've all been true. You know, Twitter, they start on Twitter, and then in the end, the mainstream media has to catch up with it. So this is what's happening at the moment. The Twitter and social media in general is taking the mainstream media on the back, catching them on the back foot, isn't it? And I don't think the mainstream media knows how to deal with it. It's, you know, there's this competition for ideas, and that's why they're so down on social media, because social media's got more liberty to say what they want to say. That's what I think. So there's that. Then there was Ben Wallace, good old Ben, resigning. The only reason he's not stepped down immediately is because he doesn't want there to be a by-election in St. Michael's, you know, in his constituency, which includes St. Michael's. He doesn't want there to be a by-election because he knows that Labour will win it. And that's, I think, there's a few reasons perhaps he's standing down. He's got into trouble, hasn't he, about saying that Britain should not be like Amazon for Ukraine for weapons. I've been saying that for day one. Why were we giving all that money for weapons? Why America giving to kill people? You know, where's the peace talks? I know it's a complicated situation. I'm not sticking up for Putin. I'm not sticking up for anybody. I'm a pacifist. I hate war. War only serves, you know, the arms dealers, or you know, war. Who's suffering? The people, the normal people. Animals are suffering. And, you know, they show these sort of things about, you know, tanks exploding, or there's people in those tanks, real people who are dying, somebody's son or daughter, because, you know, whichever side they're from, I don't care. I'm a person of the universe. I'm a human being. I don't have you know, you can say Russia is the aggressor, and in some ways, obviously they are. But this problem goes so much further back, and it's so complicated. And, you know, the things I know from people that I know that are Ukrainian about Zelensky, he doesn't want peace. He doesn't care about the people. He just cares about himself and his own, you know, whatever you believe. Gosh, well, sod it, I don't care. In Ukraine was part. A lot of people in Ukraine do identify with Russia. That's just the fact of it. You know, I know a lot of you won't ever see that though on the mainstream media, because the mainstream media, as far as that war is concerned, they're following their narrative. You know, Putin is bad, everything, and Zelensky is good, everything. Though it's changed. Do you even notice that it has changed from what it was in the beginning? And they have stepped back a little bit. At the beginning, it was, oh, you know, Zelensky appearing in every parliament getting clapped. But where was the peace talks? Where's the peace negotiations? Like it or lump it, the war is never going to end unless there's peace negotiations. So if you're happy for it to just carry on, and people getting killed, ordinary people getting killed, well, let's go on for years then. But if you really want that to stop, when you agree with it, it's realpolitik, as they call it. You cannot. How can you negotiate the end to the war if you don't negotiate? So there's got to be some negotiations somewhere. And even if Zelensky and Putin can't stand each other and they've got no middle ground, it's the duty of the rest of the world to try and find something. And the countries that are trying are the countries like China, and you know, they're trying, Saudi Arabia and these kind of countries that we always criticize, but what are we doing, you know, to help create peace? So I'm glad that they've finally turned around and said, you know, we're not sending all these weapons, because even Rishi Sunak, didn't he, said that he's not going to send cluster bombs. They kill civilians. You know, and if they're running out of ammunition and stuff, well, then they need to sit down and start negotiating peace, for God's sake. Anyway, so that's my rant about that. So that's, I think, part of the reason there's a few reasons that I think Ben Wallace is standing down. Maybe he probably had a load of emails and letters about Nicola Bulley, I don't know, and that because he's still never mentioned his constituency. When I've seen it on the news, oh, Ben Wallace is going to step down. He's the longest serving MP. They don't even mention what the constituency is. Isn't that strange? Anyway, so he's made this remark about, because of course he is the defence secretary, so he's obviously got pissed off somewhere along the line about what's going on there, you know, about his defence role. He didn't get the job at NATO because America did. You know, America is NATO. And that's another thing, you know, you can complain about Putin, but America, you know, God, how many children have they killed over the, you know, they're always going, it's like it's always a just war when it's them, but it's not a just war when it's anyone that they're against. And that's what's a load of rubbish to me. So there's that. So yeah, he didn't get his job at NATO, so he's got a bit of a hissy fit about that. Also, he's not going to win the next. Well, if he stayed as an MP, there. Remember, I did the video showing the projection. He's going to lose. There's going to be a 30% swing in that constituency, and it's not a safe seat anymore. So he's going to lose. So he doesn't want to do that. So he's staying in seat until September because he doesn't want to trigger a by-election, because there's already 2 by-elections coming up, aren't there? Which probably Labour are going to win, and it's all going to go. Well, it's all been downhill for a long time, in my view, with what the Tories have done to Britain. They've ruined that country. Part of it is the media. Part of it is the Conservative Party being in power for all these years and just totally run Britain into the ground. And Brexit and all that. This is my opinion. Now, you think what you like. There'll be probably people who, some of you out there think, you know, they're brilliant. You might love Rishi Sunak, or you might love what the Tories have done to Britain. I'm just telling you what I think. And also, there'll be ones of you out there that thought Brexit was great, or it's ruined Britain. You know, you've just got to look at the evidence. Unfortunately, I don't know how we're going to get back from that, but we'll see. In a way, I think the only way is up, really. How can it get any worse? Can't get any worse, can it, please? So that's my opinion why he's resigned. So there's a few reasons. So he didn't get his NATO job. He's annoyed about the Ukraine thing. So, well, see, now he's saying they're not an Amazon, but in the beginning he was all for it. He was all for all the weapons and the money that we sent to Ukraine. Because I follow this stuff, you know, politics. I have a degree in politics. That's my thing. I'm very interested, and I followed it right from the beginning. And he was full of it for Ukraine in the beginning. So I don't know what's changed there. And then maybe he's had some pressure over the nuclear. How he's kept such a low profile where his name's not even been mentioned as the, you know, it's such a high profile case of as that. People I've spoken to now while I'm traveling and that, they're not like into it like we're into it, you know, reading it, watching all the YouTubes and, you know, investigating into it. But they all know about the case. They all think there's something suspicious. You know, everyone can't be wrong. Nobody's turned around and said, oh, yeah, that was just an accidental death, wasn't it? No. So even amongst people who are not really that into true crime, etc., they all still know about it. And yet his name was never mentioned as part of it. It's very strange, I think. I don't know. So, yeah, that's a possibility. But I think the main reason is, personally, I think the main reason is that he's stepping down is he didn't get the NATO job. So he's probably thinking, well, where do I go from here? And he knows he's not going to win the next election anyway. He's not going to retain his seat at the next election. So he doesn't want to be the one standing there on the podium and listening to the 30% swing. You know, he doesn't want to be that Tory MP. So he's going to step out before them and let somebody else take that embarrassment. Anyway, so he's going, and that was the other news that came out. I thought, oh my God, stop news, stop. Stop, because I can't get on and talk about this properly. And I wanted to, but it's like, just hang on until I'm back on YouTube. And then, of course, the other thing that came up that's very interesting is this development in this the serial murderer in America, the Gilgo Beach murders, and they've finally arrested somebody. And this is, to me, really, because I've been following well, they used to call it the Long Island Beach serial killer. Has been an ongoing case for a long time. Many bodies that were found on Long Island, and there's lots of facets to this story. because yes, it all went off for a minute there. I'm presuming you can hear me. Let's see, audio. I think I'm back on. But we'll see. I'm hoping you can hear me, this stupid computer. Anyway, so I best speak a bit more quickly and get it over because I might go off again. But yes, so the Long Island Beach, they finally arrested someone. I had it all here to read out to you, and of course it all clicked off because my computer just decided to do its own thing again. Let's see. Yeah, so this guy, Rex Eumann, has been arrested. Sorry, I'm pronouncing it in the Spanish way for some reason. And let me just, when I get back on my proper computer, I can do better video about this. It's just really acting up, this computer. I hate it. I'm trying to read to you about him. Just keeps clicking off. Right. Okay. So, so this Rex Heumann has been indicted for 6 counts of murder. And they've been working on these killings for a long time, and they believed it was at least partially the work of a serial killer. Found a lot of bodies along there, and as I say, I need to do, one day when I'm on the proper computer and I can do a proper video. I feel like I can't stay on here that long because it's just going to cut off. Anyway, he was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of second-degree murder connected with the deaths of 3 women found dead on Long Island nearly 13 years ago. And he's 59 and he pleaded not guilty to all counts. He's a family man with 3 children, as usual. And he lived most of his life in that Long Island suburban town of Massapequa. I probably haven't pronounced it right. And yeah, he's an architect. He's living a normal life. But it all started in 2010, the mystery of Gilgo Beach, when a body was found wrapped in a burlap sack. And then there was there's a very intriguing story connected to this. There was a missing woman called Shanann Gilbert, who was found in that area, though the police are saying it's not connected. Who knows? But then there was quite a few others. So there was Maureen Brainard Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, and Shanann's remains were found over a 2-month period the following spring after she went missing in a similar area. But anyway, without me going into it too much, because I'd like to just maybe do a video on the case of Shanann, because it's very, very sad, very tragic, but also things that happened after that, how her family was affected, because I think these are always the forgotten victims, aren't they? The families, sometimes the victims aren't remembered enough, but the families sometimes aren't even taken into account. And things that happen later on as a direct result of what's happened to their loved ones, how it affects the different family members, etc. So that came up and I thought, oh gosh, I can't even get on and talk about that. But anyway, here I am. But I just hope this video turns out all right. But yeah, definitely need a new laptop. But that's next on the list. There's so many lists. As you know, there's always something else, isn't there? So yes, all those things came up. So I just wanted to cover them in a quick video. I know I did the little short yesterday. That was just to let you know I hadn't forgotten about you all and that I was still around. And I know people were worrying about me. It was so nice. I had loads of emails. Oh no, that's the other thing I wanted to say. You know, I have my policy of not mentioning other YouTube channels for many reasons, and but I do appreciate it when you send me an email and tell me about something. But I just say to you that the YouTube channels that are dealing with Nicola Bulley only, or more or less only, making things up basically just to string it along and keep talking about it. I mean, I don't watch the channels, but of course they come up on your suggested videos because, you know, obviously I've done videos on Nicola and, you know, have watched videos on her in the beginning of the case, but now it's like fantasy. Come on, just stop making it up just to string it out a bit longer. You know, if you've got something factual to say it. But if all you've got to do is make things up to just so you get a few views, you know, and I'm not naming anyone in particular. I've seen loads that have done it, so I'm not just talking about one. You know, at the end of the day, they know who they are. I don't have to name them, and I just it's wrong that because you know, it's different giving your opinion on it. If you're coming on and you're saying, "Oh, this is what I think" or whatever, but not actually literally you know, fabricating things. Please, that you shouldn't do that. Anyway, that's all I want to say about it. So yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not even now like sending someone a message. If someone makes a comment and they mention another channel, I'm just deleting it. So I'm just telling you now because I haven't got the time to mess about and send comment. You know, there's it's nice to get the messages and emails that I'm getting. But I don't want to get into saying the same thing over and over again. So just if you want to send me any information about another channel, please do it by email. And some channels, you know, but the trouble is I can't even say, oh yeah, well I quite like that channel because then I'm making a judgment, aren't I? I'm either saying I like that one or I don't like that one, or I just don't want to do that. I don't have any opinion on them. I just want I like my channel, and if you want to know what videos I like watching my videos. I was saying the other day because I always agree with what I'm saying. So you know, it's you know, it's like that's how I feel. So it's no offense to any other channel. It is just, or no endorsement of any other channel. It's just I don't want to get complicated. So, and I keep saying, oh, that's the last time I'm going to say that. But then I feel like I have to say it again because then people start putting comments on, and then maybe they're going to wonder, oh, where's my comment gone? They're the only comments that I delete. If you've mentioned another channel in your comment and it disappears, I've probably deleted it. Maybe YouTube, because you know YouTube's the mystical. I mean, sometimes I find comments in because sometimes they put your comments in held for review, but for no reason that I can say. I think, why has that been held for review? You know, it hasn't got any swear words in it. Hasn't got so I don't know what they're. You know, they've obviously got bots that are going through and whatever words that pick up. But I don't know. I don't know if it's names. I literally don't know. And I think, why has that been held for review? And normally, if I then approve it, it'll put it back into comments. But sometimes it won't. It won't let you do it, and I don't know what the judgment is. So if your comment disappears, it won't have been used on it unless you mentioned another channel. But just to let you know, because I don't like people to think I've ignored the comments or I've deleted. Even, you know, there'll be people, some of the things I've said on here today are probably a little bit contentious and people won't agree. Put your point of view. Tell me what you think in a nice, respectful way. But also, much as I don't expect you to be convinced of what I say, you got to understand I might have a different view to you. Sometimes people get a bit funny about that. It's like, oh, well, you know, I've told you this is, well, you know, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. So I have my opinion too. And I respect your opinion. You must respect mine, not expect me to, you know, I'm a free thinking person. Thoughts are free, I thought, and free speech. I believe in free speech as long as it's respectful. Yeah, don't be nasty to anyone or me. Please don't be nasty to me. But I know you know what I mean, because most of you that watch my videos, we're very lucky with our channel because don't get many trolls anyway, but I mean, they're just gone. I've got zero tolerance now. I don't even bother trying to get with someone who's being nasty, disrespectful. It's adios amigo for me. Life's too short. I'm too old. If I waste half an hour on one of these people, that's what half an hour of my life. And as I get older, I haven't got so much life left. So I certainly don't want to spend it on people that I don't even know. I get called worse things from people that I know. So I will be back this evening with the Serial Killer Sunday. I'm hoping that the computer actually lets me get through it, because that'll be a live, so I'm hoping it will let me stay live for the length of it. And I was thinking about doing the Gilgo serial killings, but I'm not. I'm going to do that. I need to look at that a lot more. So I think what I'm going to do are the Ken and Barbie killers, which were Canadian serial killers, a couple nicknamed the Ken and Barbie killers because they're such an attractive, couple. And that's what I'll be doing. I'll just give you a little bit of a heads up on it. Hang on. So just see. I shouldn't stay on here longer because I feel like. Yeah. No, See, it did it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish now, and I hope we get through it. Just to let you know, then tonight it'll be tonight at 6 o'clock UK time. What I would like is just for you to remember that if I do cut off, I will be back, because this is what I've been suffering with this computer. So it may be that I start talking, but I will be back. So just to let you know that I will be back. So you just chat amongst yourselves if I do cut off. But I'm going to end this video now before we do. Probably just cut off again in a minute. So I'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock UK time, 7 o'clock Spanish time, and I'm not sure what time everywhere else. But thank you so much. Hope to see you all, because I haven't chatted normally with you. It's not been that long. It's only been a few days. But I think because I was on quite a lot with the inquest, etc., and then it has felt like a long time. So hasta luego. See you all later. And remember to always live and love very wisely. And until I see you later, may your gods go with you. Bye bye.